Was it one of those things where school's like, "Hey, you can drop after me"? Did you have to wait, or are you like, was that just
He
happen?
definitely told me like just have a project prepared for when he drops.
Okay.
So I just had it in the tuck.
Woo! It's
Woo!
your boy My Wand here at Lit Live. Oh, we got somebody in the house that is having a hell of a motherfucking year. Devin Malik, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great because I got the name right.
You did get the name right.
How often is your last name mispronounced?
Often. I didn't know Malik was was a common thing, but a lot of people say Malik. It's Devin Malik.
You know, because the only person I've ever known with that name was Malik. It was like a guy I knew, Malik. So it was, for me, it was like I gotta program it.
That makes sense.
I gotta program it.
That
Man,
makes sense.
what a year! Did you think like a year from today that right now you would be dropping your solo album, that you would be on stage celebrating essentially the greatest, biggest moment in hip hop history? Did you see all this coming this year, or is this all very surprising to you?
Honestly, I can't say that. The only thing I knew is that I was 100% gonna drop a project, but
Okay.
I didn't think like I'd have any traction or like I didn't care about having any motion or having anything while doing it. Things just kind of timed itself that way.
It worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this might sound weird. I really wanted to ask you because you played a good part on Blue Lips. Was it one of those things where school's like, "Hey, you can drop after me"? Did you have to wait, or are you like, was that just
He
happen?
definitely told me like just have a project prepared for when he drops.
Okay.
So I just had it in the tuck.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
because it felt this. There's a very similar energy when I listen to Blue Lips and when I listen to Deadstock. You know what I mean? Just
Word,
like
yeah.
a similar kind of vibe. Like
For
y'all
sure.
were kind of, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but there's times where you hear like Wu-Tang, when you hear their old projects, you're like, y'all recorded that in the same studio on the same mic. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
energy
you
is the
just
same.
it's not like you just sent the verse over.
Yeah, so it felt like Deadstock to me felt like it was that same kind of energy that you guys were creating. And man, bang your head. I'm surprised school let you keep that one. That was so fucking dope.
Man, funny thing about that, man, we just got that verse in.
Really?
Yeah, that was the last minute.
Wow. Come on, school. You should have sent that in, school. After what was it? Love. You did two on his album. It was
Lovebirds
Lovebirds
and Back
in
in
Love, right?
Yep, yep.
I would have been like, bro, first off, you can take both the Love records off your album then. Nah, I'm playing. I'm really excited for you, man. It's not common that a producer goes and becomes an artist and it pops in both realms. But you seem to be gracefully doing it. Like very gracefully transitioning.
Yeah. I study like everybody. Like I study a lot of
Okay,
people.
speaking of people you studied then, I brought some albums. I brought two. I'm doing the Elusive 2 because I was looking at both these albums this morning and I'm like, God damn it, whichever one I give him, I'm gonna be pissed I didn't give him the other one.
You giving me two albums.
Two
bruh?
CDs from my collection. So we're gonna start. I'm just gonna grab this one first. We're gonna start. I wanted to know if that meant anything to you.
Oh, no way, bruh.
You fuck with it?
Bruh. Huh?
Oh, you had the NERD tag. I did not even know about that. And that's the Fly or Die. That's the Fly or Die logo. Okay, so that was the right one because I knew I was giving you an NERD album and not a Pharrell because you're so out the box to me that I was like, NERD had no genre, and I feel like Devin is really genreless. And so I really had to give that to you because I was torn between In Search Of, but I was like, you're more of a Fly or Die cat. I don't know why I felt it.
To be honest, I am more in search of.
I think we all are. I think we all are.
But this is
the energy on this one though. It had that very like punk rock, that very just like fuck what you want me to sound like. This is what we're gonna drop. And then, you know, being that you've been producing, you've been in your production bag. Shit, man, it's 2017. You've been in your production bag. 2021, it really took off, right?
It
now,
did.
now 2024. You're dropping the project, so I gotta give you. I feel like this is your yay moment too.
Oh shit, bro!
That college dropout.
You know what the album did for me, man?
Tell us.
You know how many How many times I've heard my mom mopping to this album every Sunday.
Really, the Dropout? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah.
I really felt like I do feel like still it's such a challenge for a producer. It's weird. It's one of those things like once you're known for doing one thing, it happens to basketball players. Like God forbid if Damian Lillard tries to go number one, like people are just like, nah, you play basketball, right? So I feel like even as producers, that happens a lot. Where for me, like the way I look at it, it took Metro a few albums for people to finally be like, okay, you're Metro booming.
Yeah, he's an
Like,
artist. Metro's an artist for sure.
right? And
Sure.
so do you feel like there's a lot of challenges that come with that transition from being just a producer?
Honestly, I don't think so. It's just all about how you portray yourself at the end of
Mm,
the day. Or just like, yeah, how you show yourself on the internet. You could like flip your page to like, oh, I'm like, an artist page versus a producer page. You know what I mean?
absolutely. You never thought about doing two separate personas? Because you see that a lot. I think J. Cole has like a secret production persona, or you know
Oh,
what I mean?
that's tough.
You were like, nah, I'm branding me as me.
Yeah, honestly, because like I could always make beats like for everybody. That's like I'm gonna be doing that till forever.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I don't think mixing the two is that difficult for me.
I love that, man, because we've seen it as like students of the game. We've seen so many people come out of the producer box, and then after a couple attempts at being an artist, they're like, "Man, fuck all this. I'm just gonna be back." And so you're doing it gracefully, bro. You're doing it
Thank you.
absolutely gracefully. Shit, you're one of the handful of artists at the motherfucking pop out.
Man, the energy was crazy.
Like, what's one word to describe how you felt after that?
Honestly, I was genuinely motivated just
Mm.
seeing how far music can take you, especially from people
Mm.
you just talk to or have conversations with. They're just like it's just like music could take you as far as you want it. So I went back to the studio after.
Really?
Yeah,
I felt like everybody there. I felt like
like
the studios in LA were all booked that night.
dude, for sure. 'Cause it's like it's just off music and it could
Yeah,
segue you into like so many other doors and avenues and like
absolutely.
seriously of life. It could really just open up your life. Music.
100%, man. And you actually, one thing I wanted to ask you was, I think it was around 2017, you were popping on SoundCloud, right?
I had a
Yeah,
little SoundCloud run. I had
popping
a
on
little SoundCloud
SoundCloud,
run.
and then fast forward 2022, 2023, some of the other people who were popping on SoundCloud with you were popping more as artists, right? Like I'm trying to think, but there was some cats who you were kind of came up with on SoundCloud that might have became a household name a little bit faster. So I was wondering if this past few years you were like, there's no way, like I was just with dude on SoundCloud, and now, you know,
And honestly, like just I'm able to be around talented people like by the grace of God. So like I've definitely seen a lot of people go from like
D Savage, like a lot of people,
yeah,
right?
D Savage, Ken Carson really
Ken
before
Carson,
he
Destroy, right?
yeah, not really
No, not
destroy.
Lone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad.
Yeah, but only Ken Carson because I just remember when like he used to just talk about this shit. But like seeing people like that just do it, like it's very attainable.
So yeah, I
It
was
just
wondering.
takes a lot of you have to put your all into this
Hmm.
everything every
Consistency.
day.
So I was wondering if it inspired you seeing Ken over the past year or two really blow up. Were you like, oh no, I'm coming out. Like I'm putting my album out. What the fuck? Like Ken Carson? What? Like I know him. Did that inspire you in any way? Motivate you?
Seeing his success is definitely like very inspiring for sure. Like I'm not saying it directly like transpired to what I'm doing, but like seeing him do it is just another person I've seen like really just do it.
Yeah,
But like you just have to put your all into it,
for
like
sure,
truly.
for sure.
No
And
half-ass shit. Like
yeah,
to be a real artist at a certain level.
I mean that's the tough part is like you're trying to not half-ass it, but artistry doesn't pay for the first handful of years. You know what I mean? If you want to be a doctor, if
Facts.
you want to be a
Facts.
doctor, bro, you're not getting paid for 12 years. You're gonna actually be paying for the degree for
Exactly.
12 years, and I think
Exactly.
music's even tougher because we don't have a guideline. So you're pumping money in for 5, 6, 7 years without
Open.
any exactly. But what I love about Devin's journey is you started out producing for people. So to me, you have a foundation. Where if
Exactly. It's a
like
cool
God
community.
forbid,
It just if it's all over, hey, if I tried to do it up, it ain't happen. Hey, I'm back right to where
hey,
we was all
you
at.
got
This
5
is
records on the House of Burning. You got 2 on Blue Lips. You got gang of other placements, and I feel like that foundation will always keep you in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you still have to work every day. Like I could easily get washed up by the next kid just going 10 times harder than me.
No, for sure.
So like you definitely always got to stay trying to like achieve like a certain type of sound like you haven't
Yeah.
achieved yet. So, like that's how you stay youthful.
Well, how do you? Because you really like create. I don't know how the right way to put it. 'Cause everyone creates sounds, but you actually create like aura in your music. Like there's like the records you did with Schoolboy. I'm like, ooh, it sounds different. I haven't heard anything like this. And then when I go through Deadstock, it really doesn't sound like anything else. There isn't the closest thing to it is like the records you did with School on Blue Lips and the records on House of Burning. So what inspires you? Like how did you create this like aura about you?
I think it just all equates to like the artists like I pull from like Tyler's, Schoolboy Q, ASAP
There's
Rocky.
a lot of Tyler too, especially in your like wordplay and the way you like some of the things you say. I'm like, he just said that, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's that
Yeah,
odd future inspiration.
the show like Kid Cudi, like Kendrick, just
Hmm.
like pulling from all those random places. It
You
just
mix it well, man.
yeah,
Like a beautiful melting pot of all your influences.
yeah. Shout out to Cardi too and Uzi for sure.
Oh, okay,
They're
okay.
like they're the go to this for sure.
Yeah, no,
It's
I had destroyed Lonely here a year ago, some shit. I didn't realize how big Opium is until when Destroy is walking in, there's randomly a fan on Hollywood walking in Opium merch. Guy had no clue. The guy looked over and was like, "Is that?" And I looked over. I'm like, "Are you wearing?" I was like, "Did you know?" He's like, "No." Is this the kid's about to cry? I'm about to cry because I'm like, "How fucking famous are you?" I'm looking at Destroy Lonely, like just that moment. They're huge. Their impact is crazy. But I gotta talk about somebody that has some funny studio rules that I want to update on.
funny.
Schoolboy. Schoolboy has some crazy studio rules. Does he still have those?
Q definitely has studio rules that aren't written down, but if you in that room, you know what you know.
Like you can't touch his blunt. What is it?
Oh,
I'm
he's
rolling
absolute.
only Sturcinals,
I have never even seen someone ask him for like,
right? To pass it or
fuck
will
no,
he even
like
take a blunt from somebody?
absolutely not.
Q?
Fuck no.
Yo, you know what Q did to my health? I used to smoke joints. And then Habits and Contradictions came out. I'm 10 years in on the leaf in the wood. I'm like Schoolboy and Ab Soul should absolutely have stock in Backwoods.
On
Backwood owes
God,
Schoolboy. There's
God,
a direct
on.
correlation. Bro, there is, I swear to you, if someone
Yo,
at Backwoods will give us the numbers, there's a direct correlation to Oxymoron. Just Man of the Year going, I think it was like top 5, and Backwoods sales went through the roof, bro. And they didn't
you,
get no shares. And that's why nobody smokes the woods anymore. That's why we all moved on to the Grabba leaves, the Fronto leaves. They really, man, Schoolboy and Absol. So I was wondering if those rules still applied.
yeah,
He's a dad now.
for
I don't
sure.
even know if he's
He'll
smoking
definitely
like
give
that.
you weed though, for sure.
Okay, but he's
Like
just
it's
like, don't
always
smoke
like
my shit.
he has the weeds. Like take what you need, but he's never type. We ain't nah.
Yeah. I
Nah.
remember seeing. I interned with TDE for about 3 months
True.
before Dave was like, respectfully, we're never gonna give you a job here. If you want to keep helping, you can. And I'm like, I respect the honesty. I have bills to pay, but it was a good time, bro. I spent about 3 months around the fam, and one thing I learned. This was why I had my whole switch up. They were dropping. I want to say it was Oxymoron, and I was about to roll a swisher. Punch or Rhett one. I think it was Rhett. Was like, you better put that away. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't smoke weed here. Everyone's smoking. He's like, you're gonna roll a Swisher Sweet? We're at Schoolboy shit. He's like, you know how He's like, you already look clownable. Do you understand how you're gonna get clowned? So I learned how to roll backwood that week, and I've never
Damn.
gone back. I've never gone back. So shout out to Q.
Shout out
But
to Q.
I didn't mean to rhyme. We got to discuss you though, because you now have what's to me gonna be like a pickle you're gonna be in. Do I rap on the record or do I give the record to somebody else? And how do you make that decision?
Um, it really just depends on how much I love the song. Like,
Mm.
but like if it's a certain level of artist, I'm giving that song up right
Right?
now.
Like if Kendrick, for example, like if you got a record, you're like, I know this is gonna go #1, but if he calls you, it's like,
Yeah, I'm probably coming out that record.
there's times too where I think that might get you into some rooms and on some big records in
That
itself. So name me one time, bro, because you've been in this game for a minute now. Like it's funny because as an artist, it's like, oh, this is like you could be on double XL freshman cover, but as an actual musician and like not just a rapper, you've been at this almost half a decade now, right?
yeah, I guess non-professionally,
No,
but
bro.
like
After 2017, you were professional. As far as I'm concerned,
true.
you were in the top 5% of all people who are making music in the world. And now you've hit that household name where people are. I'm
I don't
speaking
think I'm
about you.
household yet
Not
though.
yet, but
Not
that's
yet.
like where you're going. In LA, I say your household name. I was hella hyped to see your name in the inbox. I'm like, oh word.
Oh,
I was like,
true.
he was just at the
Damn,
pop out.
that's
No,
crazy.
so does it like do you feel like it's like a brand new mountain you have to climb? You know what I mean? Because it's a whole new journey.
Um, in a way, but like it's kind of all the same thing. Cause like I'm just such a creative person, so like I don't even look at it as a job or like a journey or like this is what I'll do with no money
It's not
or
like a
this is
new
what I would.
challenge. Like, damn, I gotta be an artist now. Like, I have to.
Yeah, it's just like these projects we be trying to get off, like the one I just dropped, Deadstock out now.
Deadstock out
Deadstock
now.
out now.
Hey, if
But
somebody hasn't heard it, what's the first song you want them to hear? Backstage.
first song you gotta hear, that's a fun one. Backstage is a fun one. First one you gotta hear for the ladies, we gonna say Backstage for sure.
Okay.
Tap into Backstage.
What about
Like,
the homies? What's the first song you want the homie to listen to?
for the homies, I want them to listen to Moonlight.
Moonlight. Okay, I
Moonlight
was
for
gonna
the
say
homies.
Geekertown.
That's a good one too.
Geekertown slaps, and
Yeah.
it comes in right after "Bang Your Head" so beautifully.
Shout out to Cardo. Cardo did Geekertown.
Cardo did that. Hey, Cardo's having a hell of a year himself. Absolutely, I think he did one of the diss records. I don't remember which one. I think he produced on Euphoria, something like that. He
Did he?
did one of the beat switches, I think. So shout out to Cardo. But man, Devin, you've had a hell of a year,
Thank
and
you.
I feel like as the artist, this is just the beginning. Does that feel that way?
Yeah, it definitely feels this way. Because I feel like even putting out this project, like I know like the ins and outs and like of putting out a project, like everything that goes into it. So I'm
Mm.
like much more like prepared
Yeah, yeah.
and just the overall rollouts,
Absolutely.
whatnot.
I was actually very impressed. Your album, like when Ye did this, right? When Ye did this, there's somebody on every song. There's no track list on the back, but somebody's on every song. Most of the records have two people. You
Uh-huh.
really were like, this album is me. Like, you guys are going to get 99, 98% Devin, and then I'll sprinkle in some. What went behind? It was like very J. Cole, you know what I mean? What was that by design, or that's just how it played out?
Honestly, like I'm just like if I'm doing something and putting like a whole project out, like at least for my first one, I want it to like be mostly me or
Mm.
like people to be listening like for me or just
I
like
love that.
don't tap in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like truly, because in trying to build a cult and all this and like the new age of this music wave or like this music era, like it's a little weird. So I'm just trying to like build a cult.
I love
The
that.
best artists like can really tour in real life.
I mean, you learned from people that did that great. TDE. If there's one thing TDE did right, it was before they ever signed or before they like not even signed, before we ever heard of like the public heard of Kendrick, he already had a million diehard fans. Before the public really caught on to
Exactly.
Man of the Year,
Exactly.
Schoolboy had his diehard fans. So I love that, man. I think you really got great, like maybe not mentors, but great people who've been around you who just did it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and you were
Yeah.
right there. So
Understanding the groundwork,
yeah,
nothing is like that.
I love that, man. TDE never takes shortcuts, even with Doechii. Like
There's
he was
no point.
the first time I went to one of her events, I wasn't hip to her, but there was like 30, 40 people who were ready to fight for her. They were so excited to see her.
Yeah.
And I looked at Top. I'm like, you did it again. I was like, you motherfucker. Like, everybody that comes through that TDE camp, they really build that organic, like, from the ground up fan base.
You have to. It's fun, honestly. Like, because once you make it and you get, like, all the clout and fame,
Then you get
it's
annoyed.
when you realize that, like, I wanted all this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of artists don't, like, appreciate the come up.
I love that, man. Most people don't. We're always
in
waiting
life.
for something.
Yeah,
And then you
in
get
life.
there and you realize. Have you ever read the book, The Alchemist?
I've not.
It's a real short book by a guy named Pablo Coelho. Will Smith told me to read it. Shout out, Will.
Shout out to
Whole
Will.
point of the book is this guy's looking for this treasure. End of the book, it's right where he started. And the whole purpose of the book was, if you're worried about the destination, you're going to miss the whole journey. I was like, what a fucking bar. Like,
It's
goddamn.
really real. It's real, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, I'll fall short of that sometimes. But, like,
Nah,
just
you
gotta
enjoying the
remember,
journey,
like,
bro.
like,
Listen, we were watching your video at the Pop-Out right before you got here. You had the best video at the Pop-Out because it just was like, yeah, this is really what's going on. Oh, yeah, I'm with Kendrick rapping. And then you flipped the camera on Queen Latifah. I was like, this guy's a fool, man. But you captured it so raw and organic. Like, you saw your emotion. I saw Kendrick, and then I saw the people around the stage. You're
that's
enjoying
hilarious.
it, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look at all this different. Like, I don't even look at these people as, like, stars or, like, even though they're, like, superstars, celebrities, all that.
Have you ever been starstruck in this 7-year journey since the SoundCloud days?
Starstruck.
There had to have been one time where you're like, oh.
There was one time. This was actually at the Pop-Out.
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually at the Pop-Out when I seen The Weeknd.
Abel?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'd fuck
I
around and
seen
freak
The
out.
Weeknd.
Yeah.
I was like, since high school we've been jamming The Weeknd.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing The Weeknd like that was crazy.
Felt surreal.
Yeah.
Were you?
And I've seen a lot of, but that was probably like.
You've seen a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been. Were you able to say anything, or were you just frozen?
Man, I didn't even want to try to burn his spot or nothing, or try to do all that with him. I probably could have though, but I was more so like, nah.
I've been there before, where it's like, I would rather not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you know, I love when I meet people and they are exactly who they're supposed to be. Like when I met Too Short, all
How
3
was
times
that?
I met Too Short, he's been an asshole to me, but I love it. I'm like, you're supposed to be an asshole. If Too
Yeah.
Short was like, hey man, nice to meet you, I'm like,
He
the
doesn't
fuck?
fuck with you then.
No,
He's not
Short
fucking-
is really him. Did you ever have any of those moments where you met somebody and you're like, oh, they were exactly who I thought they were gonna be?
Probably Q for sure.
Q, yeah, he is very genuine. Like, I only spent a few months around them. Everybody in TDE is real genuine. And that whole label, you guys are all a family, like literally. I remember being like, wait, that dude is his son. And I'm like, that's your nephew. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys really? I remember Dave was like, we went to high school together, bro. And I was like, oh my God.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Devin motherfucking Malik, bro.
Man,
I
shout
said it
out to
right?
you, bro. You did.
Woo! Thank
Did,
God, man.
did.
Devin, it's gonna be a big year. What's crazy is you've already had so much momentum coming into this year, and you got the album out. Deadstock is out, bro.
Deadstock is out right now.
Deadstock is out. You know, it's always like the what's next, but like, what do you see next for like your next 2, 3, 4 months?
Next 2, 3, 4 months, probably getting some pussy, but
Album drop, bro. You better be getting pussy. Hey, if you're not getting pussy after the album drop, Devin, then you know what I mean. There's places where you can pay to fix that, but no.
if you not getting no squirrel after your album drop,
Maybe the nut's not
damn,
for you.
that's
you know?
that's tough.
That's tough. All right, so you're just gonna enjoy yourself.
But yeah, nah, but I'm really planning my second one for real.
Already?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't stop.
Hey, milk this one though. You know, one
Yeah,
thing
for
that
sure.
Kendrick does great. He drops and he's like, enjoy this for 4 years. I'll be
Mhm.
back.
But in those 4 years, he in the studio like
For sure.
3.8 of them.
For sure. For sure. No, I was probably in the studio the day it dropped, you know?
100%.
But I'm excited for this album to grow legs. I think Deadstock, the more the light shines on you, I think it's gonna be a great project for people to go back to and be like, oh, he's been cold out the gates.
Yeah.
And then when they really go back to Houses Burning and Blue Lips, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's him. He's him.
He can be him. He can be him.
He is him.
He is
Motherfucking Devin
He
Malik.
is
Thank you
him.
so much, man.
Thank you for having
Hey,
me.
LA is up. I know you came by way of Philly, but you are
Rancho
LA.
Cucamonga.
I mean, listen, bro. I've had this.
Same,
No, I've
there's
had
so
this
many.
talk with people. The IE is LA. The IE
Nah,
is technically. Come on, man. Then we lose Paul George. We just gonna lose Paul George like that?
It's the unfortunate truth.
So you don't think the IE is LA? So like, if Hit Boy, so we can't consider Hit Boy in LA,
Where's Hit Boy from?
Pasadena.
Oh,
Right.
you could. You,
I
hey, you
consider
can claim that. You can claim that.
Hey, I
You can claim
consider
that.
the IE all my good
You can
people in
claim that.
Rancho and Fontana. Once you get to Hemet and Murrieta, then it's like, all right, you're not LA. But like, you know, you got up until Rancho Cucamonga. Beautiful area too. Were you excited when you saw Rancho and next Friday? Was it like, we're here?
I don't even think I was living in Rancho when that dropped.
Okay.
I think I was in Paris or Menifee.
Oh damn, yeah, you weren't in LA then.
Yeah.
I used to work in Hemet.
yeah.
That is not LA. Well, man, shout out to you, bro. Devin Malik, thank you so much for coming through. Lit Live takes pride in investing into artists early. We had Billie Eilish's first radio interview, Post Malone's first radio interview. So we're excited to jump in with you early because in about a year from now, we will not be able to get him here. They're going to be ignoring the shit out of me.
We will be here again.
Cap, that's
and
what Jake
again,
told me. That's what the
and
artist Jake told me.
again.
Jake don't reply to my text anymore. Kaylani damn near blocked my number. That's what
Damn.
everybody says. So we're going to see what's going to happen.
We will be back again.
All right, everybody. A year from now, I'm going to try to get Devin Malik back on this couch. If it doesn't happen, you know why. My man, enjoy the albums. Lit Live, baby. We're out. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Thank you. Thank you for that, man.
That was fire.
I really couldn't pick